Good evening. I want to inform our audience that the live Arabic translation is available. Please click on the interpretation button and choose Arabic. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله ومرحبا بكم. أود إبلاغكم أن الترجمة العربية متاحة لهذه المناسبة هذا المساء. للاستماع يرجى اختيار الترجمة العربية في لوحة التحكم في برنامج زوم الخاص بكم. President De Joya, Your Excellency Lolwah Khater, Your Excellencies, members of the board, members of the faculty, members of the class of 2021, parents, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the commencement exercises of the Georgetown University in Qatar School of Foreign Service. Tonight, we are gathering virtually after a year of tremendous struggle and perseverance on the part of our students, faculty, staff, and all of our friends and families. As we look at the changed world around us, it is clear that all of our lives have been impacted in ways that would have seemed unimaginable 18 months ago. For this reason, it is imperative that we gather to celebrate this important milestone in the lives of our graduates and their families, even though we cannot all come together in person at GUQ. We will now begin the ceremony with the national anthems of the United States, of the state of Qatar and the United States of America.
لمن رفع السماء قسما لمن نشر الضياء قطر ستبقى حرة تسمو بالروح الأوفياء سيروا على نهج الأولى سيروا وعلى ضياء الأنبياء قطر بقلب سيرة عز وأمجاد لمن رفع السماء قسما لمن نشر الضياء قطر ستبقى حرة تسمو بروح الأوفياء.
It is our custom to open and close our ceremonies with a prayer. At the beginning, we invoke God's presence among us. Today, Khansa Maria, class of 2021, will offer the opening prayer.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
Thank you, Khansa. It is our tradition to begin academic ceremonies with the reading of the university charter. To discharge that office, I have the pleasure to present Maria Matson, Secretary of the University.
On January 23rd, 1789, our founder, the Most Reverend John Carroll of the Society of Jesus, first Archbishop of Baltimore and first Catholic bishop in the United States, took legal possession of the land known as the Georgetown Hilltop, and which we now call Dahlgren Quadrangle. We mark that as the university's founding date. In 1791, our first student arrived, the future North Carolina Congressman and Chief Justice of the North Carolina Supreme Court, William Gaston. But our first bachelor degrees were not awarded until 1817. In 1815, with student enrollment passing the 100 mark, Georgetown had begun to fulfill John Carroll's vision of a Georgetown that was a genuinely national college, a vision that, as you have just heard, has expanded not only to the nation but to the globe. Accordingly, then President Reverend John Grassi of the Society of Jesus asked now Congressman Gaston to present a petition for a federal charter, a document that still today sanctions this university's academic enterprise. Georgetown's charter, the first federal charter in the history of the Republic, has the additional distinction of having been signed by President James Madison, the father of the United States Constitution. It is our venerable custom to initiate academic ceremonies with a reading of that charter. An act concerning the College of Georgetown in the District of Columbia. Be it enacted by the Senate and the House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that it shall and may be lawful for such persons as now are, or from time to time may be, the president and directors of the College of Georgetown within the District of Columbia, to admit any of the students belonging to said college or other persons meriting academical honors to any degree in the faculties, arts, sciences, and liberal professions to which persons are usually admitted in other colleges and universities of the United States, and to ensure in an appropriate form the diplomas or certificates which may be requisite to testify to the admission of such degree. Signed, Langdon Cheevis, Speaker of the House of Representatives, John Gaillard, President pro tempore of the Senate, approved March 1st, 1815, James Madison, President of the United States.
It's now my great honor to introduce this year's commencement speaker, Her Excellency Lolwah Al-Khater, the Assistant Foreign Minister and Spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and a member of our Joint Advisory Board. Her Excellency's dedication to furthering the humanitarian goals of Qatar are truly an inspiration. After obtaining her master's degree in international studies and diplomacy from the School of Oriental and African Studies at the University of London, Her Excellency started her career at the Supreme Council for Family Affairs. She then moved to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, serving in various roles at the UN in New York and Geneva, before assuming her current role in 2013. Her Excellency joins the line of permanent representatives dating back to Qatar's accession to the UN in 1971. Furthermore, she is the first woman to represent Qatar in this role. She has authored and facilitated numerous UN General Assembly resolutions governing education during emergencies, improving natural disaster responses, as well as resolutions aimed at drawing attention to families, autism, and democracy. We are so pleased to be able to call on her tonight to share some of her wisdom with our graduates, and by her example, motivate them to further this grand project of developing a more peaceful, equitable, just, and empathetic role. Your Excellency, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you now to speak to our graduates.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. President of Georgetown, Dean Ahmed Dalal, class of 2021. Families, good evening. It gives me a great pleasure to address you today, a very special day to 52 students and 52 families. Meaningful conclusions are normally made when you look backward at things. And when I looked backward, I realized that graduation has been the proudest moment in my life. Therefore, I urge you to live and enjoy this moment to the maximum, even if virtually. Personally, I lived this experience 3 times in my life. I still cannot get enough of it. I would pay a fortune to relive it yet again. Before I joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I used to live a very quiet life in the countryside in the United Kingdom working on my PhD. Now, as an introvert, to me that was heaven. I would turn off my mobile phone for days. And back then, guess what? The world never collapsed when I did that. Yet, in 2017, someone decided to turn on the camera, and I found myself on stage. I had to perform. I had to fulfill my responsibilities. I didn't like the camera. And between us, I still don't like the camera. I've always held very critical views of politics and politicians, of media and influencers. Well, I still do. Yet, my deepest concern about myself has been the following. What I felt was the widening gap between the person on the screen and the inner me. Therefore, from time to time, I would check on myself, whether I was still the same person, whether I was still grounded in the same values and beliefs. And this is not applicable to me only, or to those who appear on TV. It's applicable to her, to him, and certainly to you. Anyone with a mobile phone and a connection needs to remember that the person on Facebook, on Twitter, on Snapchat, on Instagram is just a copy. A copy that, unless we pay enough attention, could easily betray the original. You are the future diplomats, politicians, analysts, academics. Do check on yourselves from time to time. Do assess your relationship with yourself. Go back to your essence, your spirit, and values. Now, does this sound a little bit awkward coming from someone who's in the field of politics? And we all know what Machiavelli said about politics, don't we? Well, it's not really awkward. In fact, it shouldn't be awkward. This is exactly the paradigm shift that we together need to achieve. Moralizing politics, ethicizing policies should be part of our mandate, collective mandate. Ethical leadership is not just a myth. It's a reality that is instilled and manifested in many examples around us. So let's not just stand out there and think how awkward this is. Let's be part of it. Let's be part of the ethical paradigm shift that we want to see for ourselves, for humanity. And in this context, I cannot but recall the unethical ethnic cleansing that the Palestinians are going through in the occupied territories of Palestine and Jerusalem. Yes, nowadays. Yes, in this time and age. They've been going through this for decades. When you become the future decision makers, please don't allow this to happen yet again. Not to the Palestinians and not to any human being. We're all born equal. I was asked to keep this brief since this is a virtual address. I shall do that. So please allow me to conclude with a very positive note. You have a privilege that many of us don't have, and many others would kill for. That is the privilege of new beginnings. And believe me, there isn't anything that is as magical as the new beginnings of things. You are about to turn to the first page and the first chapter of the real world. And guess what? That page is still blank. So fill it with your wildest dreams. Experiment, explore, don't be scared. Class of 2021, the future is yours. Congratulations, you just made it.
Your Excellency, thank you for your inspiring words. We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude with a gift of a tray engraved with the seal of Georgetown University. Of course, the gift will be delivered to Your Excellency's office in the coming days. We come now to the conferral of degrees. Ruqayya Abu Sharaf, Professor of Anthropology, will read the names of the degree candidates. Where candidates have achieved Latin honors from cum laude, meaning with distinction, up to summa cum laude, meaning with the highest distinction, this will be noted before their name. Similarly, those candidates inducted into a number of national honor societies in recognition of their excellence will have that society mentioned before their name. You will recognize this as 3 Greek letters. Sharaf.
Graduating Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude, Aditi Sanjay. Talal Muhammad Abdul Nasir. Haya Abdullah Abdurrahman. Ismail Siraj Abdurrahman. Sarah Abdul Salam. Adiba Ahmed. Dana Abdul Rahman Al Abdul Malik. Graduating Alpha Sigma Nu, summa cum laude, Saoud Abdul Aziz Abdul Qadir Al Ahmed. Shouq Adil Al Badr. Noor Khalid Al Darbasti. Graduating Alpha Sigma Nu, magna cum laude, Fatma Al-Imadi. Fatma Rajab Al-Ismail. Amna Abdul Latif Al-Isa. Tib Salih Al-Farsi. Abdullah Al-Haddad. Nasir Khalid Nasir Al-Hil. Fatima Abdul Razzaq Al-Hashimi. Al-Jazi Hamad Al-Hadfa. Shama Hamad Al-Hatmi. Dina Abdullah Al-Jufairi. Maryam Khalil Al-Jufairi. Hissa Jum'a Al-Kubaisi. Munira Abdul Aziz Al-Kubaisi. Maha Al-Ma'adid. Abdullah Al-Malki. Noof Ali Abdullah Al-Mazru'i. Muhammad Jamal Al-Midfa. Ghada Al-Muhannadi. Hissa Saad Al-Muhannadi. Ali Rashid Al-Mihezi. Rabi'a Ibrahim Al-Mullah. Graduating Alpha Sigma Nu, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude, Fatma Nuaimi. Rawda Ahmed Al-Ni'ma. Graduating magna cum laude, Leen Al-Rabbat. Khulud Muhammad Al-Sada. Ghalia Al-Suleti. Graduating cum laude, Hind Ahmed Saif Al-Suleti, Hamad Abdurrahman Saud Fahad Jasim Al-Sani, Asim Al-Walid Ali Al-Sani. Graduating cum laude, Mustafa Deeg Ahmed. Graduating Alpha Sigma Nu, magna cum laude, Shayma bin Kermi. Kamara Torn. Sujin Toy. Dana Darwish. Abida Sajida Diab. Angie Iffat. Busain Al-Khishim. Malak Al-Moh. Graduating magna cum laude, Nurhan Muhammad Al-Nahla. Graduating magna cum laude, Fatma Farouqi. Irakli Wishir Fili. Graduating Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude, Sujung Ham. Saad Iqbal. Yasmin Al-Qalla. Tala Nasir Kamar. Graduating Alpha Sigma Nu, magna cum laude, Sarah Ingrid Madilil Lidoto. Graduating Alpha Sigma Nu, magna cum laude, Khansa Maria. Hiba Muhammad Noor. Mashail Yusuf Muftah. Graduating Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude, Nuk Neon. Harleen Osahan. Adam Savio Antonio Bolaco. Graduating Alpha Sigma Nu, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude, Irene Pramod. Abdurrahman Qayyum. Graduating Alpha Sigma Nu, magna cum laude, Muna Saif. Graduating cum laude, Amna Abdullah Silat. Jonah Samuel. Graduating cum laude, Fiza Shahzad. Mudassir Raza Shakir. Noor Ikram Sheikh. Graduating Alpha Sigma Nu, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude, Natasha Vincent.
Thank you, Dr. Abu Sharaf. President De Joya, I have the honor to present the aforementioned candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Foreign Service. They have been duly examined by the faculty and approved by the Board of Directors. I therefore ask that you confer on them the degree in course.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States and by the Board of Directors of Georgetown University, I officially confer upon these candidates the degree of Bachelor of Science in Foreign Service.
Congratulations, class of 2021. You have all worked hard and achieved much during your years at Georgetown. None of you, however, has managed to do this on your own. You have benefited from the knowledge and wisdom of your professors, and you have been supported by family and friends. I ask each of you to take a moment and thank the people who helped you get to this day. It is now my privilege to formally present Dr. John J. DeGioia, 48th President of Georgetown University, who will offer closing reflections.
Today we mark a very special day, the celebration of commencement. Thank you to Dean Dalal and our colleagues at GUQ for their extraordinary contributions over this past year. To our commencement speaker, Her Excellency Lolwah Al-Khater, thank you for sharing your reflections with us. To our parents and families, it's an honor to share this special moment with you. And to the class of 2021, congratulations. This is your day. You joined our community as some of the most extraordinary young people from around our world. While at Georgetown, you have deepened your knowledge and pursued your passions. You have shared with us your talents, your perspectives, and the depth of your capacity to act in service to others. No class of students has been asked to demonstrate this capacity, to care and serve our global community more than you, with the emergence of the pandemic 18 months ago. At that time, none of us could have foreseen this moment, the heartbreaking decisions, the lengths we would be required to go to keep our global community safe. We could not be more appreciative for how our community, for how you, our students, have responded. We have shown what is possible when a community comes together, when we engage our creativity, when we seek to bring out the very best in one another. While these past months have not looked like we originally imagined, our goals for what we hope to accomplish together have only grown. You have given us hope. The mission of our university, of all universities, is grounded in three essential characteristics: the formation of young people, the inquiry of our faculty, and the common good of our communities. Another way of putting this, universities are places that seek to build a better world. We believe a better world is possible, and we work to provide you, our students, with the knowledge and insights that will enable you to be leaders. This is our first responsibility, the formation of young people. Through work in the classroom, laboratory, and library, through the friendships formed, through extracurricular life, study abroad, the clinics and experiential learning, internships, through volunteerism and public service, through theater and music and dance. Through all these elements, we seek to provide you with opportunities to discover the person that each of you are meant to be, that each of you are called to be. In all of these endeavors, we come to learn that the work of formation is reciprocal. We learn from one another, from our faculty and our peers, from the established wisdom in our fields, from those who came before us. We support one another, we build relationships, we engage in dialogue, we do what is necessary to keep one another safe, and we do our best to create a better world for those who will come after us. When we seek to bring out the best in one another, we are able to find the very best within ourselves. Today you go forth and begin a new stage of your journey, bringing with you the knowledge and experiences gained here, the friendship of your classmates, the support of our faculty, and a commitment to service and the common good. We could not be more excited about the lives you will lead and the contributions you will make to our world. It is a profound honor to share this special time with you and with your families. Congratulations. This is your moment, the Georgetown University class of 2021.
Thank you, President DeJoya. I invite everyone to join the class of 2021 in the singing of the Alma Mater. Following the singing of the Alma Mater, the Reverend Mark Bosco of the Society of Jesus, Vice President for Mission and Ministry at Georgetown University, will offer the benediction.
Gracious God, as we come together to celebrate the achievements of so many graduates of our Georgetown Qatar community, we ask your blessing upon all of us, a blessing of life, a blessing of hope. God of all goodness, we come before you with a profound gratitude, for now more than ever, we have studied and worked this past year under the dark clouds of the COVID-19 storm. Bless us as we can now see the new light and new life of a post-COVID world approaching. As we make transition in so many ways into a new moment, may your Spirit continually awaken us from the slumber of indifference and open our eyes to all those suffering in our world. God, most merciful, we have witnessed the loss of family, friends, and colleagues this year, some taken from us because of the pandemic, some taken from us for other reasons. We take this moment to remember those we have lost and ask you, merciful God, to hold them close in your love. God, most just, bless our graduates as they help to build a world where all can live in freedom, dignity, and peace. Inspire us as nations, as communities, as Georgetown Hoyas, and as individuals to recognize our brothers and sisters in all we meet as we move into our future. God, most compassionate, may our graduates share the blessings that they have received from faculty and staff throughout these past years so that they might work for the common good of humanity, to truly be women and men for others. May we find ourselves by giving ourselves in service to others. We thank you and we bless you, God of our hearts. Abide in us, and may we always love the life you have given us and live into a life of deep faith, hope, and love. Amen.
The 2021 commencement exercises of Georgetown University in Qatar School of Foreign Service are now officially closed. Congratulations, Hoyas, and may Georgetown live forever.